Okay, now it's time to attack these wheel arches, which is going to be a bit of a challenge. When you study them, they're just an arch which has got a sharper front radius and it rolls away off the rear. It's got a small flare in it which kicks out. It's not that big. And the flare disappears, so by the time it gets down to near this weld line, it's actually flat. And at the front, same thing. It kicks out through here, but that decreases. And by the time we get to about here, there's almost no flare left. So it'd be a lot more straightforward if the flare itself was the same height or depth all the way through. Then it comes down to how many pieces are we going to make it out of. My first choice would be to make it out of one piece, just because it'd be kind of cool if we made it out of one piece. Can we do it? Yes, we can. How long is it going to take? Well, probably too long. So I'm not going to make it out of one piece. I'm going to make it out of 3 pieces. Basically a fairly large rear section and then a very similar front section. And the larger I can make that, because we'll bridge it with a smaller piece in the middle. So we're trying to do it in the most cost-effective way that we can. So for the sake of ending up with a 3-piece which has 2 pretty basic welds, joining them together, turning it into one piece, that's my logic, and that's how we're going to build these wheel arches. The back section I'm just going to build straight to the car. I'll simply overlap a piece of material and clamp it to the car so that I can run a nice tight scribe line. I've done all my maths so I can transfer all my measurements onto my new piece of metal and use the same maths on both sides of the car. The front section, we've actually taken the time to make a bit of a template for that because it's got to fit the wheel arch, and we're also going to join it down through here, so it's got to fit that shut line. And I've also cut out a piece where the wheel arch flare starts from nothing and starts to grow up to its deepest point, and I can mark that onto my new piece of metal as well. Using the template that I've made, we'll overlay that onto a new piece of material and scribe to it. Then we'll just flip it, laying that onto a new piece of material so that we can make the left hand side and the right hand side. And it means that I don't have to worry about them being different left to right because we're using that one template for both sides. Once I've got that laid out and marked out on the new piece of material, I can go through, add some extra lines, which we tend to run tape lines for moving the wheel arch line across to then draw the inner cut line. Once we've got all that done, I can just go through and run those cuts. Some of them are left oversized until the patch is further advanced, and we get to a point where we'll then commit to our actual cut lines and cut them down so that they're ready to weld in the car. Using the bead roller, we'll go through and I'll just put a slight kick line through the top of that flare just to get it started. And then changing the tooling on the bead roller, I'll go through and put a break line in that outer wheel arch. From that point, we'll go to the wheeling machine, to the English wheel, and just basically go through and do some stretching and just use the English wheel for wheeling out some imperfections and getting it so that it's nice and uniform. has a very slight upwards radius, so we'll just use the rollers to settle it and put that nice discreet little piece of shape in the top of it. Once all that wheeling's done and I'm happy with the overall shape of it, I'll go to the shrinker stretcher and I'll have to do some corrections on that inner flange just to get it flowing really well so that our wheel arch mould fits the car well. Out of that whole piece of metal, it's only got one straight piece of fold in it, which is about 110 millimeters long. So I'll just use the 8-foot folders just to put that little piece of detail on it. There's a lot of hand finishing along the way, so I'll get my hammer and dolly and I will be dressing the wheel arch largely by hand. So there's quite a bit of machinery used in this process. It could all be done by hand if you didn't have the machinery, so that you could make this part completely by hand with some pretty basic hand tools. Obviously that's going to take a long time, so we have the machinery to get us through the process a lot faster. As part of the process while we're making these parts, I like to introduce it to the car as much as I can, depending on how much the car, obviously if it's really rusty then the car doesn't give me a lot of the information that I need, but there was enough here for me to just keep introducing the pieces to the car as I'm making them, just to see if I'm tracking right. And so we'll clamp them to the car. They'll quite often be oversized with random pieces hanging off them. I try to keep them oversized for as long as I can until I'm confident that my shape's falling into place, and once it's fitting and it's all starting to make sense, then I'll start committing to some final cut lines. And it's something you've got to take really seriously, because once you've cut it, if you get those cuts wrong, you don't want to be welding pieces back on. So we do leave that part of the process until fairly late with some of them. Some of them just get cut down right from the start, depending on what processes we have to take them through. It's so easy to underestimate these wheel arches. You can see it's got that outwards radius and then it flows in nicely through there. Just got to be really, really nice for the wheel arch moulding to fit at the end of it. But you can see with this flare that if we follow this line through, it kicks out from the line, and if you follow the line, it actually disappears to nothing. So by the time we get down to here, there's actually no flare at all. But it does still have to have a bit of a hollow in it through that section, because that's the way that it is. Plus, the bottom of it has a return in it through there. So for a wheel arch that looks quite plain and relatively straightforward, this has actually been really challenging. And I don't mind admitting that it's I've got to be on my best behaviour to get these things right. They're really, really difficult. So it's nice to be at a point now where we've got both sides made to this point. So we've got the rear section, front section on both sides. We've got the saddle, so we've just got to graft them together and make it one piece. So we're getting pretty close to doing a final cut line and trimming out these rusty wheel arches and starting to tack these ones in place. When we're clamping the part onto the car, we run the risk of the part actually becoming slightly oversized because it's sitting over the top of another part. So sooner or later we have to commit to cutting the rusty piece out so that we can introduce our part properly. So I'll just cut that off using an angle grinder, but I'll leave that as far through the process as I can in this particular situation, because I'm just looking for information from that part the whole time I'm manufacturing, and once I've cut it off I can no longer use it, or it's not giving me the same amount of information. So I'll leave it on there for as long as I can, and I'll get to a point where I'll commit and cut the damaged and rusty part off the car. It's always a good feeling when you get to pick the welder up, and you can't do that until you've got a part that's finished and fitting really well in the hole. But once you've gone through the process and you've checked everything to make sure that you've done all your fabrication, obviously once you start welding it in there, you don't really want to be messing with your piece afterwards. It might get a little bit of tweaking once it's welded in the car, but we want to get it as good as we can. And so we've committed to our final cut lines, we've trimmed the car out, making sure that the hole size is fitting really well to our new piece, and then we get to pick the TIG up and start welding it into the car.